Hello guys, today we're taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. This is episode 8, and in a brief recap of the last episode, we saw the Dutch country have a civil war. We saw this country break away from the orange team. We saw this country get a big expansion. We saw this country get a new government, and this country came to exist. And over here in the Caspian Sea, it's been discovered and there's 2 new countries. And we also saw this country and this country and this country, all 3 of them expand, and they are now in an alliance together, which is the first alliance of the series. So starting off here in Scandinavia, we see more land being explored up here, and this is flatlands. So once we get past about this point, it gets quite mountainous. So we'll just say they stop right around there. And we also see them expand their knowledge over this way. They still don't get to the Arctic Sea, but they do expand just their knowledge of the lands over in these areas. So next we see this yellow Norwegian team expand. Sorry about that. They're gonna expand their land to around over here, and it looks just like this. We also see this Swedish team take this land, which does cut off the Norwegian team, but they're just trying to get as much land as they can, and the Norwegians aren't really mad about it because just north of this is not really a good place to live anyway. Continuing the theme of Nordic expansion, we see the Finnish team wrapping around this Gulf area. I forgot what it's called, but they're going to connect up with the Swedish country, and we'll see a look at something real quick. So we see the Finnish team going up here and expanding the trade route to connect up to the Swedish one, which when they get to the Swedish border right here, the Swedish are going to continue to build it through to connect to their trade route over there. Looking at another part of the trade route, we see this area, like specifically going through here, is the only place that's not really mountainous, going through the Balkan area, but it's going to go up north through the green team, and it's going to snake up to the pink team, and it's going to go through this this Danish team. So one last look at the trade routes. We're going to see a sea type trade route going through a sea / multiple areas of water, which it'll snake off through here and go through the shortest areas of water it can and do something like this and connect up with Denmark right around there. I have memory loss. I don't remember if I said if it was the last look at this layer, but we're going to see the trade route go through no country, and it's going to just go through the wilderness over here, and it's going to connect up with this Crimean team and go to the capital, and it's actually going to connect up through this sea trade route right there. And because of that, we do see this Crimean team. They're going to take all of these lands in southern Ukraine so that the trade route can go through them and they get more money and all that. So anyway, continuing to look over here, we're going to see this team and this team are both going to be funding different groups of people that are going to go up into these lands to fully discover the Caspian Sea. And with that, we're going to see a full expansion of the Caspian Sea. Alright, so because this whole Caspian Sea has been discovered, they're going to go ahead and set up a new country with both of these countries' people, which, by the way, these 2 countries are allied. They're nice with each other, friendly at least, and they're going to take this land as their new country. By the way, it's not super important for the lore and all that, but we see the Aral Sea. It looks like this. It's not entirely drained like it is today, but we'll say that it's pretty similar. So this is like if every man-made thing from the world disappeared and then civilization started, because some of these lakes and like over here, I built this myself, but let's just say it has like that. Actually, that's man-made. It has these like lands that were artificially built. Maybe, I don't know. It's up to you to think that. I don't know. But anyway, this it's just me yapping. It's not really that important, but sorta. Anyway, over here, this green team is going to send a bunch of people down because they're an exploring country. They want to see what's like down here. And they are kind of just like, it's not very interesting down here until they get to a body of water, which is really quite big. And they just explore all of these areas, and they are going to want to get some of this for themselves. And these guys are going to take a scarily massive claim down south so that they can get closer to these guys. They know that if they get too big, they're just going to like fall apart. So they're not going to get much yet, but they're going to incorporate bits of land into their country until we get all the way down here, and then they expand here. Alright, so we're going to see, now that we're here, Mesopotamia being discovered and explored. This whole area over here is Mesopotamia, and we're just gonna say that they get to around here, because this is like sort of mountainous-ish, and there's like rivers. I don't know. All I really have for knowledge over here is Doodle Empires, so I don't really know if it's dry or not or what. But anyway, they're going to explore all of these areas and discover that there's a country here, and they know what country this is. So they're like, oh, we're over here. And mappers are going to map this area, obviously not very accurately, but they're going to start to map it and explore more areas, which encourages the whole world right now to start mapping their land to see who's more powerful, what countries have more land, and all that. And obviously there's going to be some falsifying. For example, we have like smaller countries like this old tribal country. It's going to make itself look a lot bigger than these surrounding countries, even though it's quite small. By the way, if anyone's curious, I do have Antarctica on this map. Continuing to look at large expansions, we see this southern Turkish team get that large expand down in southern Turkey. And this leads this Cyan team to expand this far. Now at this point, these Anatolian countries are getting quite big. And this is at the point that I'm going to say the world is at year 0. Alright? Year 0, they discovered the Caspian Sea. They're starting to explore Mesopotamia. They have most of Anatolia discovered, all of that. So it's kind of a little bit like behind for these guys as far as like advancements go, but they started a lot later than actual humans did because they have people that work faster for gaining technology and all that. So eventually, like once we get to the 1100s-ish area, we're going to start seeing what it actually looked like in real life, because I want to do like medieval war scenarios and all that. I think that would sound fun. So these Egyptians are going to just go down south and discover more areas of the Nile. Keep in mind, I don't really know what the Nile is, like where it is right here. So I'm just gonna like fill out this whole area. Obviously they're not going to be discovering all of these desert areas, but I don't really know exactly where it is on this map. So we see two countries, massive countries in fact, being created with the smaller pink team and the bigger tannish team. These are the two Mesopotamian countries that now exist. They only exist as two nations because I figured one nation for Mesopotamia would be a little bit too big for a first expansion. So that's what it's going to look like right now. Alright, so over here in, sorry about that. Over here in Sicily, we see Anyway, over here in Tunisia and Sicily, we see these two realizing that they're really close to each other, and they connect up and start a like shipping route trade type thing right over here. And we also see the exploration of Malta, which will be under southern Italian control. And the last event we see happening is a breakaway in the Lime team, and we're gonna see like a new really light blue team popping up, and its capital is going to be right here. That is all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.